Present.
Marcus?
Here.
Vice Mayor, Vice Chairman Smith?
Here.
Mayor Chairman Paris?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Vice Mayor Smith, you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, tonight's presentation for the Athlete of the Month is Tyler Grenier. Is that right? Come on up, Tyler. Oh, right up there. All right. Got your speech ready?
That's mean.
You know, when you're mayor, that's what they do to you. You show up someplace and they tell you to go give a speech. And that's the first time you hear about it, is when they tell you. Whereas Tyler, a 4-year varsity starter, led Paraclete to the 2011 Delphic League Championship. You're a soccer player, right? Yes. He scored 29 goals, has 12 assists despite playing offense only for the past 13 games. He switched from defense to offense after a winless 8-game start. Paraclete is undefeated since the switch. That is pretty cool, isn't it? I mean, there isn't any doubt, is there? That's terrific. Whereas Tyler is 6th in scoring in the state of California, leads all scorers in the Antelope Valley, was named first team All-League as a junior, and is one of the favorites for League Most Valuable Player in all CIF. And he has played on several club teams, including winning the LA Football Circuit 18-year-old championship in 2010 with the OFC Legends. He has maintained a 4.0 GPA. Man, that's incredible. Imagine how hard you have to work to have that type of athletic record and still have a 4.0. You don't sleep. Yeah. Are you his mother? You got to give this kid some sleep. He will be honored at the upcoming 4.0 recognition dinner as a member of the National Honor Society, the California Scholastic Federation. Tyler is also a member of Letterman's Club and volunteers for Vaughn's Breast Cancer Awareness Program. He will pursue a degree in kinesiology and a master's in physical therapy, and has been accepted at several universities, including Azusa Pacific, Cal State Fullerton, and Chapman University. On behalf of the Lancaster City Council, we commend Tyler Grenier for outstanding accomplishments athletically, scholastically, and in the community. And you're the Athlete of the Month.
First of all, I'd like to thank my team, my coaches. I couldn't have done without you guys, and thanks for a great season.
Hey, come on, get your mother up here. Come on. Hey, let's get a picture with the team, Rex. Yeah, is the team here? Yeah, come on. Back here, I think that'd be better. It's a better shot. Sure. Incredible accomplishment. Okay, I gotta get one with your mom. Come on. Yeah, of course. One of you get on his right, one of you get on his left. Want me in there too? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks so much, Doug. Congratulations. Okay, All speaker cards must be filled out and submitted prior to the agenda item being called. This same rule applies if you wish to speak on non-agendized items at the end of the meeting. Following this process will allow us to conduct a timely and orderly meeting. City Manager, anything to be removed?
No, sir.
Okay. No agency actions required at this time. We'll move on to the next item of business. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Let's vote. Minutes are approved. Any items on the consent calendar you'd like to pull for discussion, or do we have a motion and a second for adoption?
I'll move we adopt the consent calendar as currently comprised.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Joint public hearing. We'll now have a joint public hearing regarding JPH1. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards or correspondence.
Do you want to waive the staff report?
That's fine.
Okay. All right, is there a motion?
I'll move that we, for the agency, adopt resolution number 04-11.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous.
And for the city council, I'll move that we adopt resolution number 11-10.
second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Okay, we'll now open the joint public hearing regarding JPH2. Any speaker cards?
No speakers or correspondence, Mr. Mayor?
You guys want to waive the reading?
Yep.
Presentation? Okay, good. Let's close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
I'll move for the agency that we adopt resolution number 05-11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It's unanimous.
And for the city, I'll move that we adopt resolution number 11-11.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It's approved. It's unanimous. Joint new business. We'll now hear the staff report regarding JNP1 from the Finance Director, Barbara Boswell. Do we have any speaker
No
cards?
speakers cards.
Barbara, you get to sit down. We'll waive the presentation. Is there a motion?
Mr. Mayor, just one quick thing. I think you had on in front of you there a revised copy of the cooperation agreement. I just want to make sure that that's
in the
included
noted
within
minutes.
the motion.
Yeah.
Who's
Is that
making
for
the
both
motion?
the agency and the city?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll move for the agency that we approve the new revised cooperation agreement between the city and the redevelopment agency.
I'll second that.
Let's vote. It's unanimous. Approved.
And on behalf of the city, I'll move that we approve the new revised cooperation agreement between the city of Lancaster and the redevelopment agency.
Is there a second?
Second.
Let's vote. It's approved. It's unanimous. Moving on to the council agenda. Okay, I'd request a motion to approve the appointments of, should we do them individually, or,
Can we
just-
take them all concurrently?
We just take them all,
okay,
unless there's objection.
according to the list on the agenda for the Planning Commission, the Architectural Design Planning Commission, the Lancaster Criminal Justice Commission, and the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission. As set forth in the agenda, those are the people I'm nominating. Most of them are being just reappointed. There are two additional new members, Kaveh Eliu and Howard Harris. Kaveh, did I get your last name right? Eliu.
And that's for, just to be specific, when we make the motion, that's not in the agenda. This is the new revised list, correct? We're adding,
That's correct.
yeah, not the public. So we're adding Kaveh Eliu to the Planning Commission and Howard Harris to the Lancaster Neighborhood Vitalization Commission, and also move that we appoint all those listed.
I'll second that.
Okay, let's vote. They're all approved unanimously. Kaveh, do you want to come up, and Howard, do you want to come up and get sworn in, and the clerk will swear you in? Well, there you are, Howard. How are you? You can do it right out here. Come.
Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. I do
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's yours. This is for you.
Now remember, don't go to any barbecues, any parties without getting approval from the city attorney first.
Yes.
And then if you're still not sure, be sure to call Mr. Wilson at the Valley Press and he'll let you know
That is for you.
definitively.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's probably bad advice. Sorry, Bob.
Or Liberico. Okay. Moving on. Oh, the Lancaster Human Relations Commission, or whatever we're going to call it, task force, will be appointed at the next meeting. Any council reports?
We just have a report from the air quality. The governing board met on February 15th and held a public hearing to adopt Rule 315. We had an update and discussion surrounding the Palmdale Power Plant and the current process of review by the California Energy Commission. The CEC is the ultimate permitting authority for the PPP and is conducting an evidentiary hearing on March 2nd. From recent CEC discussions, a question regarding the need for an offset rule organic to AVA QMD has risen. Both staff and the governing board are requesting clarification and input from the CEC to determine the next step. The issue will be, and is going to be put on the agenda for the next AVA QMD March meeting. That's it.
Thank you. Any other reports? Thank you. Nothing on the financing authority. City manager, any announcements?
Just a couple while we're getting busily preparing for the Poppy Festival and a couple other events. We have this Saturday the museum fundraiser at the museum on Sierra and just off Lancaster Boulevard, and it really promises to be a great event. I still think there's a few tickets left, so people can call City Hall to get those tickets. It really is going to be an outstanding event.
You know, that really is one of my favorite events. If you want to have a great time, I would suggest you look into that. It's well worth the effort. Okay, City Clerk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the time for any person who would like to address the City Council on items that are not on the agenda. You may complete a speaker card. You'll find them on the back table of the council chambers. We respectfully request that you fill the cards out completely and print as clearly as possible so that if the council, the city manager, or city staff needs to get in touch with you, they will have your information. As much as we appreciate your request to make comments before your 3 minutes begin, please understand your time begins when you start to speak. Individual speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. When you approach the podium, you will see 3 lights. The green light comes on when your time begins, the yellow light comes on when you have 30 seconds left, and the red light comes on when your time is up. We ask that you be considerate of the allotted time to allow other speakers to have their 3 minutes as well. Following this procedure will allow for a smooth and timely process for the meeting. State law does prohibit the City Council from taking action on items not on the agenda, and your matter will be referred to the city manager. Thank you.
Thank you. Diane Reeves. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello and good evening to everyone. My name is Diane Reeves.
just pull it towards you.
Okay.
Great.
Hello and good evening to everyone. My name is Diane Reeves. I'm the owner of Perk Place Coffee House in Lancaster.
Good evening.
What I'm here tonight is to let you know that I have been approved by our Boulevard Association to throw a Mardi Gras. I submitted my application on February the 2nd in front of our Boulevard Association. On February the 8th, I submitted it to the city with the event application that they have, and also I submitted my proposal. What she's handing you in front of you right now is just a token of the Park Place Coffee House affection, and it's themed in Mardi Gras for you. They are coffee mugs, and all of our regulars get coffee mugs, so if you come in with your own mug, not only do you get a discount, it's your own mug. Just briefly to tell you guys a little bit about the Mardi Gras. It's going to be on March the 26th, and it's off the boulevard. Cedar, Milling, and Beach is what we're locating it on. We're going to have Zydeco bands, children's entertainment. The Cedar Arts Theater is going to have plays and different things that are going to be going on. It's just a big block party that I want to throw to bring awareness to the businesses that are off the boulevard. And that's basically it. I'm totally doing it on sponsorship. Any extra monies that are made off of the event are going back into the Boulevard Association, which we all know that is a nonprofit.
Terrific. I'll be there.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Just want your support.
Okay. And so will he.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
all be there.
Did you ask Bob yet?
What?
Did you ask Bob if we could be there? I'll be there.
Bob's going to be there. Cesar Alvarez. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor Paris.
Nice to see you.
Vice Mayor, yes, nice to see you. Nice to see you, Vice Mayor Smith. Let me see if I get all these right. Council members Ken Mann, Sharon Marquez, and Margaret Chris, city managers, and citizens of Lancaster. I spoke to you in an earlier appointment about the golf disc course, and what happens, I brought a picture from our Edwards Air Force Base of the disc in the sport that I've looked up on the internet. I intend on making a formal proposal later on. I brought this for your consideration and to look at this. I'll leave this with city management to take a look at it.
I will.
And what I want to do in the future, perhaps, is I'm considering it takes more than just a kind word to make things happen, because I know that money's tight this year in California. And what I propose on doing is offering to contribute equipment to Parks and Recreation and through city management. And so you'll have this equipment to initiate interest in the sport for the city of Lancaster. And that's all I wanted to share with you.
Are we looking into that, Mark? Okay, we got something moving? Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure, something to look at.
Okay, great.
Thank you, everyone.
That's wonderful. Thank you. David Paul.
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, and Council, good evening. There's so many great ideas here. I have one of my own. I wanted to talk a little bit about George Washington first. It's his birthday, and I don't know if I have a greater hero. I talked a few councils before about a book I was reading, and there's a new show, History Decoded, that goes into the Washington spy ring. Excuse me. But I think it's safe to say that the United States of America would not exist if it wasn't for George Washington's willingness to plan for any contingency. Now, Mayor, I appreciated recently your distinction, the distinction you made between good teachers that we know and love and a failed system that we can't ignore. I watched a documentary over the weekend, Waiting for Superman. Sheds a lot of light on that. I recommend it to everyone. You know, it's my personal belief that hard times are coming, harder times than we expect. Change is accelerating so fast, and we don't know what's going to happen, but we know we're out of money. So as all these conflicts ensue, we have to know what we can actually do, and what we can do is stand together as a city. I appreciate what's going on here, what we're all trying to accomplish, and it may seem counterintuitive to our plan to win the future, but there are so many variables that we can't control. One thing we can control is this city. I can control my street. That's why what I want to do, and it helps take the ugliness and the pain out of it to make it fun. Look, as a city, have a festival where we examine what would happen if, even for 3 days, governmental goods and services just disappeared. It's just let's brainstorm this thing, let's have a fun festival. And I have, to make it fun, Mayor, you dressed up as the king from Daisy's costume store. Mark could be the Lord Chancellor. We can make this fun, but we need to bring people together to decide what we're going to do if the worst happens. And I think that's a great idea, and if we do that, your regional approach is good, but that's harder to control. If we can start it here, they'll have to do it everywhere else, and just the fact that people are thinking about this, if it spreads across our country, may be the jolt and the wake-up required for us to really prepare for what is coming. And that's what I'd like to see us do, have a fun festival and plan for the worst. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. Thank you, Mr. Pope. Okay, any comments from the City Council before we adjourn?
Yeah, Mayor Paris, I just wanted to speak up about Thursday. Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, there is going to be a sanitation meeting, I believe, here in the council chambers. And I want to tell you that I want to take time to say how much I appreciate Ron representing the city of Lancaster. A week and a half, 2 weeks ago, he met with the Chamber of Commerce and several restaurant owners. And I think there's a lot of people that are naive in regards to what's coming down the, I'm going to call it the pipeline, all right. It's going to be a substantial increase that everybody's going to have to pay. And I think with Ron representing the city of Lancaster and all the citizens, I think we've got a good watchdog to keep that to a minimum. I suspect we're all going to get hit with some kind of an increase because of the new plant. But I just didn't want that to go unnoticed, and I know this is televised, and I know there was an article in the paper, but some people don't necessarily subscribe to the Valley Press. I sure hope that they get the word and show up here on Thursday. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You know, unfortunately, I think people are going to wait until they get the bill, and when they get the bill, it'll be too late. That this is really a pressing problem that people should get involved with early, because the bills are really going to put some people out of business. I don't think there's any question about that.
Well, it already happened 4 years ago. That's what happened. Nobody responded. There was only 8 responses, and now some people's bills have doubled and almost tripled. And,
Who voted for this?
Ron, why don't you explain a little bit about how we get to that point?
The story.
We started the sanitation district created the recycling plant to get tertiary water, which is we've all decided was a good plan to move towards tertiary water. But
explain to me what that is.
The tertiary water is additional treatment to the water so that you can use it for other purposes rather than just sewer water. So you can use it on crops easier. You can do water recharge. Our purple pipes will sell it to other customers, water the soccer fields, those kind of things. And in 2007, there was a vote to raise the rates, a Prop 218 vote, which basically means you mail out 47,000 ballots, and if you don't get 50% plus one back saying we don't like it, the board can pass it. And so the board did pass it, and it was an increase to some people. It was double and more than that. So we have some of our restaurants that are paying, small hamburger places paying $10,000 a year. And now the sanitation district has requested that we do it again, and we raise it another 34%. And I put a couple things on the agenda. One of them is to see if we can lower the rates of everybody on the restaurants or anybody who applies. You can apply for a rebate. There were 76 businesses, restaurants, last year that were charged. 10 of them applied for a rebate, and the average rebate was 46%. So these people are paying, like if they paid $10,000, they got 46% of that back. But they had to pay up front, and you have to go through this. So there's a lot of them that don't know that. So there's a lot of things going on, and we're trying to get the rates lower. So there's some other things that I have on the agenda to see what we can do about, different management, refinancing the bonds in 4 years. But if it's up to me, we're not going to raise the rates again. We just can't. We can't do it to the businesses out there.
Yeah, and don't be misled. This isn't just a fee that'll increase just to businesses. This is going to affect every homeowner, every property owner in the city of Lancaster. And if you stop and think, when you think in terms of a 30% increase, there's nobody. There isn't. In fact, there's any tax that we're currently paying that's going to jump 30%. So again, I appreciate Ron. So.
I think we have to recognize that there's a basic inequity in that sanitation district, and that the city of the South comprises 14%. Is that correct, Mr. Bozigian?
I'm not even sure it's that high, but it's around 10%, give or take.
So that and the county. We're close to 85% of the district, and the county and the city of Palmdale is a small sliver of that.
Oh, so it's worse than I thought.
Yep, less than that.
And so we have the county and the city to the south, and the chairman of the sanitation district for a good number of years has been the mayor of Palmdale. Is that right?
That's my understanding, correct.
And so they have less than 15% of the total area, but they're able to put rates that are going to put our businesses out of business. Isn't that really what happened?
At those rates, there are a lot of businesses that have said they would go out of business if those continue.
It seems that it's intolerable to me that we have the mayor of Palmdale controlling our sanitation rates to the point that it's actually putting our businesses out of business. And until we address that basic inequity, let's not be stupid. This is going to continue. It's simply a deplorable situation that we have to figure out a way to fix. We cannot have 85% of the district and only 1/3 of the vote. That's insanity. Anybody understands that.
Vote.
Everybody understands that. And to have somebody with 10% of the district as the chairman of it for this number of years, what did we expect to happen? What did we expect? When people really have no accountability for it, we always find ourselves going down this path. So I don't know what we're going to do about it yet, but I think it's fair to say we're going to do something, and it may require that we get the voters involved in this. But this is clearly a deplorable situation. Thank you. Okay. Anything else? We are adjourned.